of more sensual expression in a different kind of poetry and dance, and I'm convinced in a chromatic form of musical scale. Dancing was of great importance in ancient Greece and remains so to this day. In older Greek communities, notably those along the southern coast of the Black Sea, the old traditions were faithfully preserved. One of them is the Sera, a war dance from Pontus, whose people still speak a dialect containing within it many ancient Greek phrases. It seems to me that it is the pagan in each one of us which is the basically creative element, that the exuberance, profusion, and power of artistic expression is born of the one fertility. From the island of Carpathos comes the Servos, danced in this way without alteration for centuries. Because it moves to the left, it is believed to be a dance in honor of the forces of the lower world. Because popular dancing was continually practiced and handed down by example, habit, and communal custom, certain dances have survived as a living art, whereas, strangely enough, its sister arts in the form of written music and written words have not. The prescribed notation of the day, a form of syllabic solfège, could not possibly convey the exact pitch, nor can any notation ever devised convey the full expression and texture of living sound. Therefore, what with the interruption of oral traditions and the silent songs and stanzas recorded on stone and papyrus, we should be particularly grateful to find an art form perpetuated by the living experience of a people as it was practiced in classical and pre-classical Greece. As we owe so much beauty and grace to classical Greece, so we owe the word music itself, derived from musiki, meaning all the arts of the 9 muses. The Greeks believed absolutely in cultivating the indivisibility of the beautiful and the good. They used but a single word for both, kalo kagathia, kalos meaning good and agathos beautiful. In this unique civilization, man could become one of the gods, just as gods could descend to earth, an ideal conjunction between man and the stars. It was in this very theater, in the year 606 BC, that the first musical contests were held. The instruments were the lyre and the aulos, a reed instrument of Oriental origin. Just up the hill is the stadium where the Pan-Hellenic Games took place. Music and gymnastics were considered the basic elements of education. A perfect condition of the body was considered as important as the training of the mind, goals toward which every citizen should strive. Gymnastics and games of prowess have been handed down to us from those times as reproduced in the Olympics. Plato held that music should precede and dominate gymnastics, for he believed that the soul should form the body and not the body the soul. The perfection of citizen and state demanded a supervised and imposed musical education. They wished to produce a people distinguished and disciplined and of sound body and mind. It was the flute that often accompanied sacred dances. However, not the flute alone. Legend has it that the infant Hermes killed a turtle and strung across its shell gut strings made from the entrails of an ox stolen from his brother Apollo, thus making the first musical instrument. And then, to appease his brother's anger, he craftily offered him this primitive lyre to play upon. Since then, the god Apollo, his music, his lyre, became the very faith, the drama, the literature, even the architecture of citizen and state. It was here, in this magnificent place, the most sacred in the Greek world, at the very apogee of this noble pagan civilization, that votive dances, perhaps similar to these, expressed the worship of Apollo. The civilization of classical Greece was the first full flowering of European culture, and music was its heart, its very bloodstream. We will still need music when we have spread to the planets and beyond, for music will always remain the one universal language. The truths it reveals are immutable and are valid for all life wherever it may be, whether intellectual, spiritual, physical, emotional, or whether mathematical, intuitive, subjective, or passionate, in all their myriad variations. Like great poetry, which is partly music, being rhythm, melody, and voice, and unlike mere words which can mislead, music can never lie, for it is a celebration of life. Tolerance and compassion should be the byproducts of all art. Beauty and truth, as combined in music, may lead to that awareness of self and of others, bringing equilibrium to our lives and our civilizations.
ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם.
An American Indian communing with himself and with God. A Jewish youth at the ceremony of his coming of age, the bar mitzvah, when he learns the responsibilities of his adulthood. The human voice is our basic tool of expression, our inner and our outer means of communication. We use it for song because it is the most immediate and compelling way of formulating and conveying our emotions and our thoughts to ourselves and to others. In fact, I would say that the human voice and human song are the very definition of the human species.